Hello everybody, Trojans for Life here, and welcome to another video. In today's video, we're going to be covering the new screenshots, trailer, and analysis of the Steam page for Bendy The Cage. This game had been teased about a month ago for a trailer, and now there are screenshots on the Steam page that we are able to look at and analyze. Make sure you guys hit that like and subscribe button for more Bendy content in the future, and let's hop right in. Alright everybody, here we are. This is Bendy The Cage official announcement teaser. I already kind of went over it briefly, so let's get right into this trailer.
We all know how it ended. How Audrey stood against the ink demon. How we all came to her rescue in the nick of time. But how did we escape the pit? How did we get away?
Alright.
Now there's a story.
Yeah. Bendy The Cage. All new Bendy game now in production. Let's go. Dang. Alright guys, now that we've reacted to Bendy The Cage, the game trailer, we're gonna analyze the Steam page it's on. Now this trailer actually dropped like, I don't know, a month ago maybe, I think. I don't know exactly when it did drop. It did drop about a month ago, and I know I didn't cover it. I've been trying to branch out more and try to cover new games, new topics, and new genres. And specifically, while I am still staying to horror-related stuff, I thought this new Bendy game would be interesting to cover leading up to the game's release. So let's read the description, and then we'll go over the screenshots. It says Bendy the Cage Trademark is a first-person psychological horror game that takes place during the events of Bendy and the Dark Revival. The shadows are closing in. Fight the madness before it's too late. This kind of clearly tells you when this game is going to take place, so I guess this is going to take place during the whole Dark Revival, or at least parts of the Dark Revival. So it's kind of going to be not necessarily a sequel, but maybe like a prequel of some sorts. But yeah, it'll probably be taking place maybe between the chunks of the parts you play with Audrey in the second one, and Bendy in the Dark Revival. But it's like, I guess like maybe a side tangent or a side, not project, but like you're playing as a side character, not necessarily the main one, although it's unsure of at the moment. I don't know. It's going to be released this year, so some point between this month, January, and December of this year, it will release. I would assume maybe a summer release or a fall release, because I don't know how far this game is into development. I don't know exactly if it's going to be finished yet. I thought it would re-release maybe next year, but it looks like this game is definitely far in development, and we'll go over that with the screenshots because they look a little bit more done or finished, like to the final product. Bendy The Cage is the fearful story of Henry and his escape from the keeper prison known as the Pit. Darkest souls have banished to this deep hellscape of metal and blood. Survival will require you to fight madness, or it devours you whole. So again, like I said, this game is going to take place during the Dark Revival, or at least during the events of Dark Revival, and I guess you're going to be playing Henry, maybe escaping with the other cycle breakers to successfully win or whatever. And when I say cycle breakers, I'm talking about like Henry, Alice, I think is a cycle breaker. I think Sammy Lawrence is a cycle breaker, though that's not 100% confirmed. I don't know, but cycle breakers, people who break the cycle from the original game, from Bendy and the Ink Machine. It's going to be a little bit darker, it seems. It's not going to be as kid-friendly as the first one was, nor how the second one is. And then it gives you, here's what you need, here's the minimum that you need, but here's the recommended amount of operating stuff, and that's about it. Right, for this first screenshot, clearly it looks like you're underneath something or underneath drains or in the pipes or sewers of some place in the Dark Revival. What's weird is that this character seems to have a Saw type trap on his forehead, a trap from the movie Saw. It's kind of like one of those chainmail head helmets that you put on your head, except it looks like it's clamped and locked in there. You can see some chains on the right side. You can also see some stuff on the left side, maybe hanging there next to him. And you can also see how these people that are ink have red fingers. I would presume that these are, obviously villains or bad guys, or villains or antagonists or enemies, whatever you want to say. And it looks like there's going to be blood involved. And again, this is a much darker game from the original, so it looks like that's going to be the case with this game. I mean, you could see these creatures have, red blood coming out of their ink, and you can see a skull up here with red eyes. So it's going to be a very dark game. Here's another one of the same thing. It looks like you changed the weapons. In the original screenshot, which I might put up on the screen, there was an axe, and now it looks like you have a lead pipe, so maybe you'll gain more weapons and stuff along the way. There's more pipes up here, again, more environment stuff. I don't know what this says. It looks like entry word, or nor, entry nor, or war, W-O-R. Could be an N though, and it looks like entry or eternity maybe. I don't know where this could take place, but clearly it's overgrown with vines and stuff. And you have this, one of the same enemies from the previous screenshot here, with a weapon, looks to be like a saw. In this next screenshot, it looks more to be like a city, or some sort of city type of deal, where there's an underground city. I mean, in the Dark Revival, there was an underground city, and it just, to me, looks like that this is going to be more of like after you've escaped the sewers and you're in the city area, or maybe not the safest part of the city, but it does look to some extent like a city. What I am noticing is how cartoony it looks. There's all outlines around each of the thing that is like black, and I love that. It looks like the whole game is outlined in black and white. So yeah. In the next screenshot, we can clearly see Sammy Lawrence. Now it looks like whether we are in jail or Sammy Lawrence is in jail. Maybe he's reaching out to help us, or maybe he's, I don't know, he could be pulling something shut. Maybe he's a villain again, and he's working with, I think Wilson, was it? The antagonist of Dark Revival. Maybe he's locking us up. Maybe he's helping us get out. It clearly looks like, Sammy Lawrence is there. The axe is on the floor, so maybe we got knocked out and he's putting us in a jail cell, hit us on the head, or maybe he's freeing us, opening the... And whether or not Sammy Lawrence is a psycho breaker will be determined by this game. I'm not 100% sure, but I would assume that that's the case, because in Dark Revival, he was behind one of the, I guess, glass mirrors or glass walls where he was sitting in the chair playing a banjo. So possibly he's on our side. If not, he could be working for Wilson or doing something. It looks like he's definitely either freeing us or putting us away in cell. And the last screenshot we have here is of our player, presumably Henry, blocking an attack from one of these ink monsters, ink bad guys, whatever. The ink person does have blood again. It seems like it doesn't have that metal contraption that was kind of talked about earlier, but it does look like we will be able to block attacks or use our axe in some way to block it. Maybe press Q or press like B or press some button, or maybe like press the trigger or something and be able to block it, or fight back in some way, maybe push them out of the way. But you can clearly see that this is again in the sewers, and we're blocking one of the enemy's attacks. And the reason I say I'm not sure if this is Henry, it looks like it's Henry, but the one thing that makes me say that is the fact on the left hand you can clearly see that there's a ring. Whether that ring is real, whether that ring is made of ink, it looks like Henry is married somehow, has a wife or has something of that nature, because you wouldn't have a ring on if you weren't married. it just shows you right there. So maybe Henry finds his wife, or maybe he's able to escape and get back to his wife and his life. Maybe he somehow got trapped in here like Audrey, and you know how Audrey was sucked in and then to the ink machine, and next thing you know, maybe Henry was before, and Henry worked at the company that Audrey worked at, and obviously Wilson works there, and Audrey, and maybe Joey did at some point, and they all were taken back. Although we do know that Joey did die in previous game, and that he was just an apparition of some sorts. Alright everyone, I hope you guys did enjoy today's video on Bendy the Cage, analyzing each of the screenshots, looking at the Steam page, and watching the trailer. It was fun, it was awesome, and it looks like a very interesting and dark type of game. I'm excited for it, and hopefully the game turns out to be great. It is releasing sometime this year, so make sure you guys get your butts prepared for when it drops, whether it is January, February, March, April, May, June, July, August, September, October, November of this year. Get your butts prepared. And if it's none of those months, still, get your butts prepared. Don't forget to like and subscribe for more Bendy content in the future. Hope you guys did enjoy today's video, and I'll see you guys in the next. Bye guys!